craft and one of the HCS commentators, analysts, and grassroots content creators, and we have another HCS report where today we're talking about the conclusion of Rostermania for now, and we're going to talk about a few different teams and maybe some of the things that were going on behind the scenes that led to this very scenario. I got a little bit of inside information, so I'm going to kind of share it just a bit and really just talk about the perspective from the outside looking in. So why don't we jump right into it? Today we're going to talk about multiple different teams here, but it all starts and it kind of around Ryan Noob and how this squad ended up being together. Now, Ryan Noob, Kuhlect, Breakingshot, and Chris Common are going to be the squad that we talk about. And a lot of you that have been paying attention to the offseason are probably like, well, wait a minute, Kuhlect and Ryan Noob were teaming alongside Ezo and Descendant under that Triggers Down roster for a bit, and Comet and Breakingshot were teaming with players like Advocacy and Super CC as well. So you're probably thinking, how did this team actually come together out of nowhere and do pretty damn well? Well, let's talk about it. Well, it was, from what I understand, Descendant and Ezo deciding that even though they did extremely well together, they thought they could be even better, and deciding that they wanted to drop Ryan Noob from the roster and maybe go a bit of a different direction. Now, believe it or not, I don't believe they actually wanted to drop Kuhlect. It seems like they wanted to drop Ryan Noob, but Kuhlect wanted to stay with Ryan Noob, and they decided to go a different direction. But originally, it seemed like Descendant, Ezo, and Kuhlect may have actually wanted to stay together. Not exactly sure about that, but that's what the belief is there. Now, that's crazy. That's going way back in the but mainly they wanted to go one direction and decided to split together the Kuhlect and Ryan Noob. So ultimately, that left Kuhlect and Ryan Noob looking for a new duo, a new player, two new players. So and they looked no further than Breakingshot. Like, what? Why wouldn't they? Ryan Noob and Breakingshot have found success together in the past on that complexity roster. They really liked each other, but they had a bit of a problem because, like we said, Breakingshot and Chris Common were teamed with Advocacy and Super CC Evades. So Breakingshot and Common seemed like they had a decision: either stay with Advocacy and Super CC or join up Kuhlect and Ryan Noob. But I'm sure it might have been a tough decision, and maybe they decided to go with Kuhlect and Ryan Noob. Again, we don't have the full story. We only have part of the story, and we're kind of piecing things together. But Kuhlect and Ryan Noob decided to look for a new home. Breakingshot and Common decided to leave Advocacy and Super CC. Now, there's a chance that Advocacy and Super CC decided to just leave on their own to become free agents, but I don't think that was the case. I think this was a choice made by Breakingshot and Chris Common to join Kuhlect and Ryan Noob. So that leaves, again, Descendant Ezo, who decided they wanted to go a different direction from Ryan Noob. Maybe not even necessarily Kuhlect, but Kuhlect joining them, looking for two new players. And what do? They decide, well, why not go after Lethul and Kuhlect? Now, again, don't know how that conversation went. Did they go for Lethul first? Did they go for Kuhlect first? Did they go for both of them together? Don't know. But remember, Kuhlect and Lethul do have previous experience together under Sentinels for a bit, so they're fairly familiar with each other's game. I'm sure there's no bad blood or anything like that. And I'm sure they said, you know what? We see potential in the artist formerly known as Carbea and the young Ezo, two young cracked players, tons of potential there. Why not come together and at least see how things go? And that's exactly what they do to formulate this new Triggers Down roster. We'll talk about exactly how this ended up for both of these teams, Reversal Perfy and Triggers Down, in their first in-season tournament together. And then with that, leaving Advocacy on his own, leaving Super CC on his own. I believe both of them tweeted out that they were free agents, which again kind of lends to the idea that Breakingshot and Common left them as opposed to them leaving, because otherwise they probably would have left and had a backup plan with where they wanted to go. But ultimately leaving them looking for a new squad where Advocacy joins alongside Piggy, Jackson, and Mortally. If I remember with this squad, I remember seeing these three maybe teaming together at one point with Envor at one point, but now Avicii coming in and creating Uwu Benny. Not exactly sure, but ultimately looking for a new home. He joins Usu Benny alongside Morley, Piggy, and Jackson, and then eventually Envor reunites with his old duo in Super CC going way back since Halo 5. A lot of you guys don't know this, but Envor and Super CC even got a top 8 finish together back in the day. So why not come together? Why not bring Tony Two Turn, who by the way teamed with Envor plenty back in the day? I remember at one point they upsetted both two of the top European teams in the same tournament. This is going way back, maybe like season 1 at that point. And then Kruvu, who has a ton of talent as well. So you're seeing how one move made in the HCS can create this kind of ripple effect, kind of like just like it's the first domino to fall. This started off with ultimately Ryan Noob needing a new home. He brings along King Nick. He takes Common and Breakingshot. That creates like 3 or 4 different openings, different opportunities for teams to ultimately go a different direction. And finally, outside of this craziness that happened, we got to talk about the fact that it seems like this is official. I believe I even saw a tweet that it was rumored that Manny, Sabinator, and Septify were going to stay together. Suspector was originally part of this Cloud9 roster literally last year, but it seems like he's deciding to focus more on content creation and even coaching a bit. He signed with AB. Meanwhile, he apparently plans on coming back towards the latter half of the season, which I'm curious to find out how exactly that's going to work. Again, focusing on content creation right now, plans on potentially coming back later on in the season, but that created an opening here for Cloud9, and they choose to go with the veteran Boo Boo Doobu, which I think is a smart play. You look at Manny, you look at Sabre, you look at Septify. Again, kind of a situation where you have great, young, talented players slowly starting to gain experience as well, because all these players were competing back in Halo 5. But when you look at Boo Boo Doobu, you see that little bit of veteranship, a little bit of savviness, a little bit of swagger to this team that maybe might have been needed for Cloud9 to get over the hump. They were so close to upsetting some great teams back in Season 3. Maybe Boo Boo Doobu might have been that missing piece to ground out this team, or I guess even to round it out and get over the hump. We talked about it before. They almost 3-0'd SSG in round 1 of elimination bracket. They almost even beat them in a game 5, and plenty of other teams they took to a game 5 and had the opportunity to upset, but fell just short. Maybe the missing piece is Boo Boo Doobu on this Cloud9 roster, and this may just finalize your Rostermania. We're going to take a look at how things ended up as far as the first tournament. Obviously, you see Optic Gaming come out with a big win. Shopify Rebellion with second place. Better, which is Trippy's roster rumored to be FaZe. It comes in third place, SSG fourth place. I think you guys all know that. That same Triggers Down roster that we talked about, featuring now Lethul and Kuhlect instead of Ryan Noob and King Nick, a big top 6 finish for them, while Cloud9 with the newly acquired Boo Boo Doobu, newly signed roster, even though the trio's been together for quite some time, they round out your top 6. Eventually, TSM, which is again Druck, Soul Snipe, Cherished, and Tolic, they're going to finish out top 8 here in this tournament. You know they probably wanted a bit more, but it's still early in the season. And then obviously Uwu Benny, or probably Usu Benny, in case you forgot, that was Avicii, Morley, Piggy, and Jackson. They're going to round out your top 8. Some teams that you want to see a little bit higher than top 12 is obviously Complexity. We have big expectations coming from Complexity. I'm sure they have big expectations within themselves. Top 12 here in this tournament may have been a bit of a step back, a slower start than you want to see from Complexity, but it feels like it's only forward from here. Reversal, I will say I'm surprised at Reversal Perfy. We'll bring up that roster one more time here. Again, Ryan Noob, King Nick, Breakingshot, and Chris Common. I will say, surprisingly, another team getting top 12. When you look at complexity and Reversal Perfy, I definitely see two teams that are kind of destined to be fighting for that top 6 and maybe going on a bit of a run and making top 4. Again, you never know, but I would think top 6, top 4, and maybe top 8 is not like panic mode, but top 12 is not where you want to see both complexity and Reversal Perfy. And maybe panic is the wrong word, because obviously they're not panicking right now. It's super early. You have plenty of times to grow and get better. And both of these are fairly new teams, especially Reversal Perfy. So keep your eye out on these guys as Rostermania does come to a conclusion for now, and let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this content. If you like, subscribe, and interact in a comment, interact with these type of videos. It lets me know that this is what you like, lets the algorithm know that this is what you like, and it tries to push it to more people. And I'm pretty sure that's how I get rich on YouTube. Isn't that what Mr. Beast did? I don't know. But until next time, peace out.